And ever since the 1700s, guys, the reptilians, they're masters of illusion, guys. So the reptilians, they're masters of illusions, gods and goddesses. What they're doing is, when the Illuminati was apparently banned in certain countries like the United States, where George Washington, he is a reptilian. So they were in on this, the Illuminati and George Washington. He wrote that declaration. Guess what he wrote in it? He said that Illuminati is a threat to democracy in the United States of America. But the Illuminati inspired the Jacobins of the French Revolution, which got their idea, which the Jacobins in the United States Revolutionary Army got their ideals of democracy from the Native Americans, who got their ideas of democracy from the ancient Egyptians. So if you think about it, we're living in Egypt, and these are the chimes of judgment. Because Egypt is the new America. Let me tell you why, nigga. Because in Egypt, homosexuality is illegal. The majority of the there are still some blacks in Egypt, because they were the original ones. Because all around the planet Earth, there was only, when God created the Earth, there were no white people. There were no Germans. There were no French. There were no Poles. There were no Italians, no Yugoslavs, no Romanians, no Russians, no Norwegians, no Swedish, no Finnish, no Danish, no English, no Welsh, no Scottish, no Irish, no Cornwallish, no Catalonian, no Portuguese, no Chinese, no Japanese, no Indonesians, no Muslims, no Arabs, only black people. It was only black people. So what the Illuminati did back in these days is they tried to take they took our people's ideals and they perverted them. So because that's why they switched up to the Freemasons. They made it look like they made it look like they were getting banned in other countries when they were just moving into secrecy, because the Illuminati was not that secret at first. That's why they called it the Illuminati, or the Illuminated Ones. But now they operate as the Freemasons. And this is why a lot of black and Hispanic children and Native American and Hispanic and black children in America go missing, especially the young ones. Because ever since George Washington, these people that are running the country, they're shape-shifting lizard people that are not humans. They prey on the blood of young children, which is why they came here to Earth, to make white people biologically in their image. Because they knew if they could make a species, they could harvest blood off of if something goes wrong. But they got our people missing. Like, you can't tell me. There's like over 50,000 missing kid reports in Canada. And that goes up to 1 million in the United States, here in the United States. You want to know where those kids are going? They're being brought to under the White House, where Mitch McConnell and his Democrat and Republican buddies, which are all the same, they got two parties for conquer and divide. This is where they drink the Democrats and the Republicans and all them motherfuckers, and Joe Biden, them niggas that run the country, they're all a bunch of reptilians. And to stay alive, they need to drink the blood of young children. And this may be disturbing to you, but if you have a child, missing children, and you're watching this video, I would get the police involved and tell them to go search in Washington. Go search some of the military bases, because over the 44th parallel above Atlanta, Georgia, all the way to some random point in California, over Arizona, between the northern and southern United States, there is a tunnel, the 44th parallel, and it leads all the way to Area 51. There's tunnels that lead that to California. And those tunnels in California lead to Area 51 in Nevada. And all the way, you got a parallel across the country in Atlanta, Georgia. So you got people that are These people that are not human beings that are running this planet. And they're drinking the blood of our species. That's why, because the things they were doing were sick. Even back then, that's why they apparently had them quote-unquote banned, which they really weren't banned. They stole the ideas from the tribes people of North and South America, all the way from Canada or Argentina to all the Caribbean, all of the Americas and Africa. They stole knowledge from all of those tribes. So, and they were going to be banned because this stuff, they were too out in the open of it. So they started to make an exclusive group. Like, you got to do shit to be in this group, the Freemasons. Because Rashad Jamal talked about this in his lectures before he was arrested, before he was accused of some false charges against speaking up against the government. Now they got him on some trumped up charges. Free Rashad Jamal. He didn't molest no kids. He was talking about exposing the he was only exposing the government and telling us melanated people who we really are. Because us melanated people, they're scared of us because the Caucasian race, they cannot take the sun because they do not have melanin within them. They do not contain melanin within their skin. So they cannot take the sunlight. And that's why this solar flare is happening on this planet Earth, this realm. This is why this realm or this Earth is being attracted towards the gates of Helios as the Earth makes its revolution around our star. Our realm is being attracted to the gates of Helios, which is a term for we are coming closer to the sun and the sun is coming closer to us. Because if you think about it all the time, dog, the universe is having sexual intercourse all the time. Because if you think of a black hole like a vagina, then you see the star it's sucking up as the male genitalia. Because it's a beautiful thing, dog. The universe is having sexual intercourse all the time. And so is the sun and the earth. Despite the sun and the earth, they're being equally masculine and feminine. They are a conscious being. But the sun is a more masculine entity, and the earth is a more balanced out entity, meaning it's not male or female. It's a conscious living entity. That's what I'm thinking. So God, higher conscious, whatever, these people go against nature. They gave us, ever since they had our people hanging from monkeys, from trees like fucking monkeys, and they've been having us working behind the cotton fields for free. They replaced that with a 9 to 5, but there's something that never changed. They always tried to shove that Jesus Christ shit down our throat because we had our own religions back in ancient Egypt, but then the Muslims came and they destroyed all of that. But in ancient Nigeria, in the Aztec, and a lot of ancient Africa, and the Aztecs, they had a sun god, especially the Sumerians. And their culture is forever seen because they can't erase that. They can destroy all of our artifacts, but they're not going to destroy anymore. That is what is happening right now because the Caucasian folks and the light-skinned Asian folks that can't take the sun, they are. Let me tell you about the two races of species on this planet. You got your Caucasian race, which is you got your human being race, which is your Caucasians, your Asians, your Arabs, and your Jews. Then you got your god and goddess races. You got your races who are gods and goddesses, who are the Anunnaki gods and goddesses, who originate through who are the beings who originate through the cosmos. You dig what I'm saying? You got your Anunnaki gods and goddesses. The ones that they made themselves they made the 99 of themselves as feminine energy. That is why they manifested 99 of themselves into this universe out of nothing. There was no darkness, there was no color. It was complete torture, it was beyond hell, it was beyond heaven. It was something you can't comprehend. And then out of nowhere, these 99, this is why I say the black woman is God, because these 99 black female entities, they manifested. This is why us black melanated people our gods and goddesses. We have the same carbon in the skin that's in our night sky, that's in our sun, that keeps our sun burning. Because what happens when a wood burns on fire? They're trying to say our sun's a nuclear fusion reactor. Yeah, there's a black man inside the sun who is the nuclear fusion reactor. Don't you get it? Our bodies are technology. White people, before the Illuminati even came into existence, when there was only just black people on this planet, because we've been here for millions of years. We were around the dinosaur age. They never gave our people credit, because there is evidence that there were giant human beings. They found a cave in the Grand Canyon that was full of hold on, let me show you this. I don't have no Wi-Fi out here. But there's this right here. They found a cave in the Grand Canyon with giant skeletons. And let me tell you, before we get into this, before I show you the article, because I'm not going to read it, I don't got much time. Let me tell you, there was a battle. The military of the reptilians, they went into this cave in the Grand Canyon, because under this cave in this Grand Canyon, they'll show you pictures of the bodies, but they won't show you that there's a paradised earth under that Grand Canyon. And there are beings that are living under this realm. They're not all demons. Some of them are good, because there's a different form of the Anunnaki. There's conehead Anunnakis that are called veneers, and they live underground. They're mystical voodoo beings. Because there's different realms underground in the earth, and there's different realms in what these reptilians call the stratosphere. Because when these reptilians first came to this planet, there was no asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. We know how the white man killed the dodo bird. Reptilians, they came because the dinosaurs were like them, I take it, and they envied them. Because when they talk about dinosaurs, they're talking about dragons. Because how can a pterodactyl be considered a dinosaur, and it flies, nigga? That's literally a fucking dragon. It doesn't matter if it spits fire, because I'll have to get into the spiritual meaning of dragons in another video, because I will cover the spiritual meaning of dragons. But we're getting off topic. So the human being race on our planet, that is your human being races. You got your Caucasians, your light-skinned Asians, which are some of your Chinese and your Japanese, and some Thai, and some Southeast Asian. Not the Vietnamese, though. Just some Thai and some Thai and some Indonesian. So you got your human being race, which is your Caucasians, some of your Asians, your Arabs, and your Jews. And you got your god and goddess races, which are your blacks or so-called Negro races, whatever you want to call us. Your Latinos, and you got Native Americans, and then you got certain types of Asians, like dark-skinned South Koreans, the ones with the darker complexion, the Japanese, the darker skin complexions, because the Japanese emperor, he even claimed to come from dragons himself, because not all the Japanese are the same. Some of them are genetically modified. Same with the Chinese, because you got some types of Asians, but that's your human being race on this planet. You got your Caucasians, some of your Asians, your Arabs, and your Jews. And you got your god and goddess races, which are your blacks, your Latinas, and your Native Americans, and some of your Asians, which are the darker skinned ones, the more yellowish toned ones that aren't as pale, that don't get as much, not the ones that don't get as much sunlight, but the darker ones, like some of the darker Japanese and the Koreans and some of the southern Chinese, most of the Chinese with dark skin in general, because China's a big country, got millions of people. And then you got your Vietnamese and your Laos and your Cambodians. and you got some of your Indonesians, and you got your Aboriginal Australians, which that's Oceania, and you got your Aboriginal Maori in New Zealand. You got all the indigenous people of the islands, who've been untouched for centuries. Those are your oceanic Asian races. Not racially discriminating here, because before the Illuminati came, the reason white people don't have any melanin in their skin, they have something called it's called vertigo or viligo or something, because white people are the closest things to albinos that you're going to get, because they can't go out in the sun without putting sunblock on and getting cancer and burnt, while us but us melanated people, we go in the sun and we don't get sunburnt at all. So these reptilian beings, before they came here, before they killed these dragons or so-called dinosaurs and wiped our species off, because there's a lot of millions of years ago, there was a lot more oppressing with reptilian beings than there was with slavery working on the cotton fields, because there was a great battle on this planet that determined the future of this planet, and that's how they oppressed us, because they made the reptilians and the Pleiadians, they made white people in their image. They couldn't make people, they weren't as powerful as the Anunnaki. They didn't live to be 1,000 years old. The Anunnaki could take parts of their esoteric body, which their body, you could punch them in the face, it would go right through them. That's why us blacks, Latinas, Native Americans, and certain types of Asians, we are all one, brothers and sisters. We are all one. We are all gods and goddesses. And what they did, because they knew white people can't take the sun, when they made them, because they made them in a lab with dog DNA, deer DNA, cat DNA, and reptilian DNA. They took all these animals, and that's how Caucasian people were made, because Caucasian people cannot take the sun. And this has been scientifically proven, because they get skin cancer and they get sunburnt. I don't even need to pull up pictures on YouTube, on Google or YouTube that show, you can go to Google, you could see all the Caucasian people getting skin burnt. That don't happen to us melanated people, because we already have it in our skin. In the reptilians, when they came and they made white people in their image using dog and cat and deer and monkey DNA, because that's how they were made. They were made by the reptilian race. They were made by a black reptilian hybrid known as Zeus or Marmaduke, who goes by Satan. Okay? So this is why white people are so rude and prejudiced. There are a lot of good white people out there. Don't get me wrong, but when the solar flares hit, when these massive solar flares hit, which is the reason that this planet is simultaneously having an orgasm. Not an orgasm, but this planet is calling out to the sun and other planets in distress. You can call it an orgasm, you can call it a distress call, you can call it whatever. This is why the sun and the earth are like having sex, they are mating, because the sun is a masculine figure and the earth is an evenly balanced figure, which means it is an all-conscious, all-knowing being. That's why when I say God, higher consciousness, I really mean the synchronicity of the universe, because the earth and the sun, they're both conscious living beings that think with a mind. If you're a cigarette smoker and you have low intentions and you put your cigarette butts out in the earth can feel that pain. When you litter your beer cans on the ground, the earth can feel that pain. And because us melanated people, we don't die and we don't reincarnate unless what they did to us when they brought us over in ships from Africa in slavery, they gave us Christianity, because Christianity is a fraud religion. It is a distraction, because us Native American people, us ancient Egyptian people, ancient Nigerian people, they have all these these missionaries in the United States and in England and all over Europe. And they got all these Christian missionaries in the United States, in England, and all over Europe. Why the hell are these people helping the African countries? The American and the Europeans, they literally colonized the Europeans. Literally fucking colonized the African countries. The Europeans and the Americans enslaved us and brought us over here. That's why there's a lot of Africans away from home. Some are called, quote unquote, African Americans. Some are called Jamaicans. Some are called Puerto Ricans. Some are called Trinidadians. Some are called Brazilians. Those are Africans away from home, nigga. Those are Africans away from home. Same with Native American people, because black people used to be everywhere. There was no white people when when Ra, the sun god, first made the earth. When God first made the earth, Europe was full of black people. Asia was full of dark-skinned black people, probably blacker than the blackest people in Africa at the time. There is a $2,000 book in Russia that Vladimir Putin has recently banned. It shows pictures. It shows pictures. It's not a lie like the Bible, because they had these historical documents and these paintings on the walls of black people in Italy, black people in Jerusalem. They even had a painting of a black Jesus, and it said he wasn't even God's son. Black people in Turkey, black people in Greece, black people in Russia and Moscow. Yes, we used to be everywhere. But the white man, there was a war, and the reptilians got most of Europe in parts of Asia. And so Asia was like a no-go zone, so they kind of made clone races there. That's why some Asians are light-skinned than others, but they still got the dark eyes. And that's why, because the Caucasian race has been trying to destroy our people through centuries. After they shoved the Jesus shit down our throat, they kept enslaving us and making us work on cotton fields and raping our women, and having our men watch, and then raping our men and having our women watch as well. Yes, that actually happened. Look it up on Google. Rashad Jamal talked about it in his lectures. They replaced slavery and hanging our people from a fucking tree like monkeys to working it in a 9-to-5, oppressing everyone equally, because they know there's two different species, the human beings and the gods and goddesses. And the human beings in the next 10 to 100 years, they're going to all die off, because the Caucasian race, this solar flare right now that's combined with the Mercury and Saturn that's entering the Mercury and Saturn conjunction that's entering Pisces, along with the Jupiter and the Venus conjunction that's entering Aries. With these, do you not know what this means, guys? These are powerful planetary alignments that haven't happened in thousands of years. And when they have happened in thousands of years, it clearly means one thing, that the Earth is a living, conscious being and is crying out to other planets for its help. That is why the Earth the Earth needs to die to be reborn, because us Anunnaki gods and goddesses, because the black woman is God, when the black woman manifested herself, she made 99 of herself out of complete darkness, carbon energy. And she made 23 elders, which would be the original 100. She made 123 black men with that. She just like when they say in the Bible, when God took a piece of God took a piece of Adam's rib and he made Eve. No, a woman, they got that shit mixed up and backwards. They're trying to oppress black people with Christianity because they know that we're gods and goddesses, and they know that now that these reptilians, we made Arcturians and reptilians, and Arcturians are the little blue aliens that never cared about our people, because they made time, and they made clocks, and they made time, and they made math. They made 1 + 1 = 2 make sense, because the Arcturians are deceivers, and that's why the Arcturians and the reptilians don't like each other. Because the Arcturians made time, they made illusion, they made the Matrix, they made an illusional mind. Because spirituality is about unlimited consciousness. It is about unlimited thinking. It is about an expansion of a mind. But this Christianity gives you this Jesus character. Then you got to go to Bible study. You got to study Simon and Paul and all this other shit. Well, if Jesus is really in my heart and he's really here for me, what about my ancestors who were being enslaved, brought over from Africa? Where was Jesus when that was happening? You said Jesus loves everyone, but what about when my ancestors were hanging from the tree like a fucking monkey, like this? What was happening when our people were hanging from the trees like this? Where was Jesus then, nigga? Half of the niggas out here aren't even true Christians. They don't study the Bible. They don't even go to church every Sunday. They just sit around in their drawers all day and do nothing, nigga, expecting this Jesus character to do something for them when they don't have any intuition. Because the only time niggas will go to church is just so they can post pictures on Facebook. The only time niggas will get to see their baby mamas is on Easter. That's why they all with the Jesus shit. Because they go into the church and everything on Sunday just so they can see their baby mama one time of the year. For the only time of the year, which is on Easter, the apparent day Jesus died. And how are they going to record the day Jesus was born and he died? And they're going to say they have Christian scientists are going to say they have evidence on that shit. Nah, nigga, that ain't true. Where was Jesus then? Because when these reptilians deceived us in the 1700s while our people were still being enslaved and brainwashed with that Jesus shit, they made a switch to more secrecy so they wouldn't get caught. They changed. The Illuminati was never banned in a single country. They disabandoned their people. And all those Illuminati reptilian bloodlines, they would die off. But they still had sex and they had kids with other people. So their bloodline didn't die off because they choose one reptilian bloodline for another. Because these reptilians, they come from the Alpha Draconis star system, approximately 60 light years away from this planet. And they came through this planet in this portal. That's why time was these little blue aliens and these reptilians, Pythagoras, you got these Greek philosophers who are supposed to be white people, human beings, Pythagoras, Plato, they're reptilians and Arcturians. They're probably Arcturians because the Arcturians had an interest in ancient Greece, and that's where they made their time trap. If you don't know, the Arcturians are little blue alien creatures that are about 5 to 4 feet tall. They're at war with the reptilians, but they never cared for us black people very much, so we kept to ourselves. But the Arcturians are very spiritual people, and they've stolen knowledge from us too, because when us black people, us Anunnaki, us black Hispanic people, whatever you want to call us Anunnaki, when we made the planet Earth, when we made the universe, we gave all alien beings, including the reptilians and the Arcturians, free will. And they used that free will to take advantage of us. And now it's time we get back. It's time our people rise up against this corrupt system. Because, let me tell you something. Because the reptilians were the ones that made this Jewish stuff. They were the ones that made this Allah stuff. They're the ones that made this Christian God stuff, this Jesus Christ stuff. Because the Anunnaki, they have always been with us. They are literally spaceships. You can't see them because they got them blocked off. They use clouds and they use all kinds of shit. You can't see them because you're not using your pineal gland, which is inside your brain. Because the pineal, you used to have a third eye, but when we were first created, we used to have 3 eyes coming out of our head. That's why the story of Avatar was true. They make a race of blue people with green eyes and these weird looking eyebrows, which represents the third eye. That was us, black people. We didn't have pointy ears and blue skin, but we were glowing all kinds. Our vibration was so high. We were blue. We were green skin colored. Yes, but then the reptilian invaders came, and before the 1700s, they were pumping the Earth full of oxygen, because this is a hydrogen-based planet. That's what makes our skin melanated, is the carbon and the hydrogen. Look it up. That's what creates the darkness in our skin. And now, and they even got, the white man's never stopped oppressing us. It's not white people that are oppressing us. It's the reptilian white bloodline that shapeshift and disguise themselves as white people. Because if we're going to be honest, all white people have reptilian DNA. And 99.999% of black people have reptilian DNA too. Because, like I said, slavery, the colonization of Africa, they raped our women. And not only before that, the Anunnaki and the reptilians were battling way before Earth was made. When Earth was created, before they even settled on Earth, before Earth had a collision with another planet named Maldekya, it was named Planet Tiamat. Okay? And when Maldekya crashed into Tiamat, that created our cosmic moon. But before Maldekya crashed into planet Tiamat, which is Earth, which is actually what us black people originally call it, is Kai, they changed the Earth. Us black people used to call Earth Kai, but then the reptilians came and made white people in a lab using dog DNA and monkey DNA and cat DNA and deer DNA, and they told the white people, yo, this realm is Earth. This isn't a realm, it's a planet, and this has gravity, and the 1 + 1 = 2. We got math. Don't listen to what the black man says. He's crazy. The black man is in Africa, and he has a spear, and he's uncivilized. He believes in more than one God, or he believes in any God at all. Like, wait, why must I not believe in a God? Why must I believe in one God? Why can't I believe that our people are gods? Because we are gods. Literally, this could go the same for cats. What was the fascination? Because the Egyptians knew something. That they knew there was a planet full of cats. They knew there was another dimension full of cats, and they came here through a portal, just like the Anunnaki did when they had to fight the reptilians. They came up into our sky, and they're still fighting up in our sky to this day. That's why the reptilians and the Pleiadians that work in our government, they spread chemicals in the sky. Them pussycats is scared of me. You remember Rashad Jamal in his lectures. Rashad Jamal is the one who said that those people that are flying those planes that spread those chemtrails, those are government agents, and they're not real people. Those are alien beings, and those are reptilian beings, okay? Those are reptilian, and those are alien beings, okay? And the white man, ever since even though we're two different species, they want us to enslave us all in a 9 to 5 and give us this social security card and this certificate that has your name saying your property to the government. No matter, and they try to say it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Well, first of all, let me tell you about Martin Luther King. He's the one that started this bullshit. Martin Luther King. I'm more of a Malcolm X nigga, because Malcolm X stood for freedom. He only put his differences aside with Malcolm X, because Malcolm X put his differences aside with MLK because he was forced to. Because MLK was a sellout. Because literally back then, in deep parts of the South, police brutality was no different than it was today. It never changed back then in the 60s. It's still the same. It's still the same than it was back then. But despite the police brutality, in deep parts of the South, white people would gather in crowds of 300. They'd gather in crowds of thousands to watch us, black people, just to lynch one of us. And they'd even have it in postcards in mail. And imagine being fully white. Because if you're biracial like me, you might be part black, and you might have some animal DNA, but you don't have full-on animal DNA, so you still get downloads from the cosmos, and you can't get sunburned. Well, let's say I was a fully Caucasian man, or say you as a black man watching this video, you're fully a Caucasian man. You open up a Post-it card, and you got niggas hanging in your goddamn mail. That ain't right. And this Martin Luther King guy is saying, oh, I have a dream that little black men and little black women will hold hands together and we'll be able to make peace with the white man. Fuck no. You can't make peace with a race that's done so much atrocious shit. Yeah, we can forgive some of them that know what they did is wrong because you didn't purposely do it. Your ancestors did it. But if you want to continue this cycle of arrogance, you got to go. That's why I say this police brutality is going to an end. It's time we destroy every police station in America with everyone inside them. We have their weapons. We have their bulletproof vests. Let's buy more of them. They're selling them online. They're selling them on the black market. Go get them because let's take this society down. Because without the cops, we can get rid of money. And without money, we can establish 4 new laws. No killing, no raping, no stealing what is yours, because we won't have all these other credit card fraud laws and laws involving money, and we'll respect each other. Those should be the only 4 laws. No raping, no killing, respect each other. No, not respect each other. No raping, no killing, respect each other, and no littering, because litter is bad. Because the stuff they put in the food anyway, it rots in our bodies. If it's not fruits and vegetables, if it's a frozen pizza, or if it's anything, it's processed with some chemicals. The same junk they're spreading in the air. And these aren't even real people that are spreading the chemtrails in the air. They're reptilians and Pleiadians. And the Pleiadians made white people in a lab, too, along with the reptilians. The reptilians even had sex with them, and they were making some gruesome hybrids. They had the reptilians in. The reptilians are now in cahoots with the Pleiadians, because the Pleiadians are the ones that made white people. Because the Pleiadians and the Arcturians, the Pleiadians are are aliens that look just like human beings. They have blonde hair, blue eyes, and white Caucasian skin. They originally come from the planet Nern, but the planet Nern was. But everything around the planet Nern, including its star, was blown up. It went supernova. And it was always cold on that planet. There was no star to begin with, but when they did make an artificial light intelligence, because they couldn't take the sun, so they had to make a sun for their own. Their paradise Earth, which was always snowing on there, and they called it Nern, and they always had disagreements with each other. Even before the reptilians came, they had even more when the reptilians invaded Nern. So the Pleiadians decided to band together. They're also called the Nordics, and they colonized the Pleiades star system because the Pleiades star system planets were just forming. And so the reptilians destroyed planet Nern because it was always snowing on planet Nern. And the white people on planet Nern, which there was a planet full of white people, there was no one else there. No animals, no nothing else. No gods and goddesses, nothing. They were always warring on each other, which explains, in every war in human history, it's just staged so these reptilian blood drinkers can get their blood. They need children's blood, and they operate off fear, false evidence appearing real. Every war ever since up to the beginning, the first invasions of Egypt up to the first invasions of ancient Egypt, up to the American Revolution, all the way up to the Russo-Ukrainian War, which started last year, they are all staged just so these reptilian blood drinkers can get human blood. This is why they need to take blood from your baby in the hospital. That's why they got to take blood from your baby in the hospital, because Mitch McConnell and all these Democrat motherfuckers who are pretending to hate each other when they're really friends, they're sick and they need all these trafficked children that they're calling minorities, which are children of color. They're drinking our children's blood because it has fear. And if you look up online, adrenochrome is a chemical that gets these reptilian beings high. It's a fear chemical that's produced adrenochrome is a fear chemical that's produced in children. That's why they molest these children and rape them under the White House. Mitch McConnell and all these Democrat motherfuckers. and all these state Senate guys that are in the White House and all these guys in Supreme Court, you'd be disturbed if you saw the shit that went underground. Because they do the same thing at these Hollywood parties. That's why they made the Freemasons. You gotta be an elitist group to get in. You gotta drink human, you gotta make sacrifices if you want to enter the Freemasons. That's why they did away with the Illuminati and made the Freemasons. They're the same thing. Don't let them fool you. They only disbanded the Illuminati and let new people in because those new people had stronger reptilian bloodlines. They came straight out from the Alpha Draconis realm. They knew that the Illuminati, or the illuminated ones, they were having sex with human beings. And this is what they're talking about in the Bible about the Nephilim. There was no Nephilim. That is us. They're talking about interracial children. Go check out a YouTuber. It's a sister. She's a sister. Go check out Sister Conjure Queen. It's Conjure Queen. She talks about the Nephilim and how they're not really evil, and the Bible portrayed them as evil because Christianity is all because when black people die and they have open minds like this and they stay spiritual to their values and they know that the world around them is crap, any people of color, they don't reincarnate like the other white people do. They go straight up to being gods and goddesses, and they either can have a choice to roam the cosmos and teach other gods and goddesses who have died, who have made it to this mission, because that is what heaven is, teaching the others about your experience. And heaven is living a paradised earth and being reconnected with your dead ancestors, which are also up there. Some of your dead ancestors are up in the sky right now past the stratosphere because you can't see them. The Saxon, these reptilians blocked off the stratosphere, and these reptilians blocked off the stratosphere. So yeah, there are a bunch of spaceships that are the size of small planets, the size of cities like Erie, Pennsylvania, New York City, and Los Angeles. Yes, spaceships full of black people. Yes, black people. I've been telling y'all this for years, nigga. And they're fighting against the reptilians. They're not coming back to save us. It's up to you to save yourself, because we're slowly descending into hell. Because these elites, they know their time is up. They know that the sun and the Mercury, the solar flares are causing the Earth to become awakened. And when the Earth is starting to become conscious, or has a planetary orgasm, I'm just making these words up as I go, but the Earth is having a spiritual awakening. I wouldn't call it planetary orgasm, I'd call it spiritual awakening, because all the volcanoes right now, every single volcano from Italy to Indonesia, every volcano in China, Hawaii, they're all going off right now. They won't tell you that because they're scared. They never will tell you the truth, just like they tried to make it look like Bill Cosby was a rapist when he was going to open a talk show for young blacks and enlighten us, just like I'm doing. Bill Cosby was no rapist, motherfucker. Bill Cosby got falsely accused, and here, let me tell you why, nigga. Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC, and he wanted to enlighten the black race on the oppression of the government. So he tried to buy NBC, and suddenly, out of nowhere, he was accused of raping like 60 bitches. 60 women came out with rape allegations. Let me tell you why, nigga. The government paid them. Because let me tell you why. A man cannot touch a woman, okay? He could not even lay a single finger. A man could not lay a single finger on a woman, and a woman could still go to the cops and ruin his life by saying 3 words. He raped me. So, Bill Cosby is a very popular celebrity and comedian. Wouldn't it be obvious that some CIA, FBI agents are out for him and they're trying to frame him? Because just because back in the 1960s, the 1950s, the 1970s, police didn't believe women about rape, they still would have to look into the case if they had enough evidence 9 times out of 10. If that nigga Bill Cosby raped you, why didn't you speak up about it back then? Huh? If he popped your pussy back in 1960, you ain't gonna speak up about it until then, bitch? Huh? That don't make no fucking sense. Because rape is worse than murder. It's the most traumatizing thing that can happen to a woman, or even a man, for that matter. And it goes for men or women, too, equally. Because rape is worse. You're taking is worse than murder. You're taking someone's virginity without their permission, without you wanting to. You're having sexual intercourse with someone who doesn't want to partake in intercourse with you when they have every right to say no. You don't have to not have sex with someone that doesn't make you feel comfortable. That's the thing about women nowadays. They won't bang a guy that's trying to help them, but they'll bang every dick and asshole and minge in the town. And I'm not talking about minge like pussy. I'm talking about like men with feminine traits. And this is what the solar flare is doing. It's gonna put feminine traits back in women and masculine traits back in men. So if you're acting all feminine and acting extra goofy as fuck, if you're acting feminine, if you're one of them gay niggas, or if you're one of them closeted homosexuals who claims you like getting head and getting pussy, but you moan like a girl and you're on Pornhub 24/7, you can't get off, that's feminine, because that's feminine. Okay, wasting your semen on something that's not a woman by masturbating, playing with yourself, that's feminine. But back to the original conversation. But they got our people on this reincarnation trap. So we keep coming back to this planet. That's why they give us this Jesus shit. Because Jesus does not love everyone. Jesus is a reptilian alien from outer space, and he is probably fighting against your people in a spaceship right now, because these reptilians, I can see them. My third eye is starting to become open. I mean, I need to get some more Kundalini energy up there. That's why I haven't been uploading, but because I'm having fights with sex demons. But and my energy keeps getting drained. So yeah. But they're still oppressing our people in other ways than slavery. Police brutality is getting worse by the day, and with these solar flares, these Caucasians will be fried, because there is no religion, there is no Allah, there is no Christian God coming to save you. Allah is a reptilian alien that is on a spaceship right now. He don't give a shit about you. Jesus Christ is a reptilian alien fighting for a extraterrestrial faction from the planet Alpha Draconis, who thousands of millions of years ago has wiped out hundreds of thousands of intelligent life forms just like us in the galaxy. You want to know why these motherfuckers at NASA, they are the aliens, they are the reptilians. Let me tell you why, because they're looking for alien life, but if they have any evidence, if anyone has any clear evidence of alien life on a planet we don't know about, that we haven't seen already, because we all know there's life on Jupiter and Venus. I've been to Jupiter in a dream before, and I'll tell you what the aliens look like. You won't believe me, because Jupiter doesn't have a solid surface, but I can't tell you what the people of Mars and Venus look like, but there are sentient beings living there. Because you got these reptilians are scared of this. They're spreading chemtrails up in the sky again. They literally were doing that. My phone died twice trying to make this message, because I don't have much battery life for my phone today. I didn't charge it last night. So, but I saw a plane with a reptilian in it. Because we all know there's reptilians with those chemtrails. Because even a white man named Alex Jones, a Caucasian man, on his InfoWars YouTube channel, he literally said there was chemicals in the water that are turning the frogs gay. And this is why Egypt is the new America. And America is the new Egypt. Because in America. Because listen, in Egypt, because back in the olden days in America, homosexuality was banned. It was seen as a mental illness. But now it's becoming accepted in America. Back in ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, being gay was frowned upon in ancient Egypt, but they didn't have any punishments for death by it. Now, Egypt barely has any black people in it before the pyramids were built, because Sudanese people are black, and Sudanese people lived in Egypt before the Arab and Indo-European invaders came. And now Egypt is a predominantly Arab Muslim country. Look it up. You think I'm joking? Look it up. Don't take your bot ass to Google and wonder why you can't find anything. Go to Bing. Go to the dark web. Because Bing is pretty uncensored. They tried to censor a lot of stuff on Yahoo and Bing, but they can't censor all the conspiracy information out on Bing. That's why it's not really a conspiracy. They call it a conspiracy because it's true. There's too much evidence overwhelming it. And that is the Matrix. It is creating false evidence that makes no sense. Like, where was Jesus when my ancestors were hanging on a noose like this, being forced to work against their will on a cotton field? He liked that. He got pleasure and arousal out of that because Jesus is a reptilian alien on a spaceship that is fighting for an Alpha Draconian faction. So, yeah, Christianity is a reincarnation trap for black people. And that's why they push all these distractions on us. And for any of my biracial niggas out there, any of my biracial brothers and sisters, because we ain't niggas, we gods with a real struggle. We ain't athletes, we gods with a real struggle. So any of my biracial brothers and sisters out there, I need you to tell you something. You can't have sex with this reptilian race, these white people, because they want to wipe us off this planet. Because if we have sex with a white person, our child, you saw Drake, he had a child with a French woman. And that child is more white than he is black. That child, because if you are more than 75% Caucasian, you cannot receive downloads from the cosmos. It won't work because your pineal gland is decalcified. And even if you can decalcify it, you're going to be in constant pain if you're a Caucasian person, because you can't handle that frequency of the sun in an open pineal gland. You can't because Dragon Ball Z talked about the different energy centers, which are the chakras. And the chakras were first discovered in ancient Indian spiritual practices, and we still use them to this day while we meditate. Okay, Dragon Ball Z had 7 different energy centers, and the third eye is the 6th chakra, the pineal gland, because you got to imagine when you save up more sexual energy, there's like, imagine the sperm building up in your body, or if you're a woman, the eggs building up in your body, the sexual energy. You have the sperm or the eggs. You imagine them as 2 snakes going up through your body system until it reaches the top and you're fully enlightened. This is why they practice semen retention in ancient cultures, like ancient Indian cultures. And this is why you can attract the sexual partner much easier if you stop masturbating. Because when you stop masturbating, you're more easily able to attract the sexual partner. But we're getting off track here. Because they're still oppressing our people. They got Christianity. They have all these white women, reptilian women, white women, whatever you want to call them, reptilian. Got all these reptilian women on Instagram shaking their asses on TikTok. They're trying to get the black goddesses to make more biracial babies like me, so that the biracial children like me can grow up to be brainwashed that it's okay to have sex with a white woman like what Drake did, and come out with a more than 60% white child, because that's racism, interracial marriage. They say, oh, you're a racist, Horus the Sky God Pharaoh. You don't want blacks and whites being together. No, it's just I don't want our race being completely eradicated, because the next biracial generation down, if you have sex with a white woman, and she gets pregnant, that child's going to be more white than it is black. And that child is not going to be able to take the sun. And when these solar flares the next few months heat up, and you guys, the species is going to start dying off, because you guys cannot take the sun. It happened last year in New York City. Even black people were dying because they couldn't take the sun. There's some black people out here that aren't even human beings. There's some black people out here that are clones made by the government. LeBron James is one of them. Shaquille O'Neal is one of them. LeBron James is a straight-up human robot made by the government. Let me tell you why, nigga. LeBron James is the type of nigga to sit in the back of the popular kids' room in class and tell jokes he don't even know, just so he can get with the popular kids, nigga. LeBron James, that boy, the real-life devil. You know, the NBA is owned by white people, so if LeBron James is in the NBA, he says he's the biggest sellout for the NBA. Because I saw an interview with one of the enlightened. I was watching one of my enlightened brothers, Young Pharaoh, and he was dropping some knowledge. He was exposing LeBron. He was watching an interview with LeBron, and this nigga asks LeBron, "Yo, what's your favorite scene from The Godfather?" And this nigga straight up lies. Like, LeBron James is the biggest dick rider on the planet. I know we're getting off topic, but LeBron James, the type of nigga that bring lunch money to school just so he can give it to the popular kids to like him. That's the type of nigga LeBron is. Because this nigga asked LeBron in an interview, "What's your favorite scene from The Godfather?" And he's like, oh, I gotta be honest. There's too many. I've seen The Godfather so many times, and there's too many great quotes to quote from there. Like, if you've seen it so many times, you lying ass nigga, why don't you say a quote? I've seen The Godfather many times, and I can't remember a quote because I have autism and ADHD. And plus, The Godfather isn't really my type of movie. I just kind of listened to bits and pieces of it. I didn't pay attention to it like it was an actual movie I was interested in. Because as growing up in a biracial family, I live with the Caucasian side of my family. So usually my mom or my grandfather, they'll watch The Godfather, and I'll just look at bits and pieces of it. Because I don't see the whole thing because I don't care for it. Those aren't my type of movies. All the type of movies with black people in them are always black people getting put down by the white man. Why can't we have a movie with some African power where we rise up and get our revenge on the white man? Like, why can't we get revenge? But they got our people out here being sellouts. And what I'm trying to say basically is... What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say basically is they're trying to make us less spiritual. They don't want us to be spiritual. They want us to think like cattle. They want to steer us in a certain direction, even though we're two different types of species, and bring us together on this kumbaya, we're all one race type shit. Nah, nigga. No. You really think sickle cell came from this earth, nigga? No, sickle cell disease only targets and affects black people. Only black people. Some white people can get it, but there's a very rare chance. You want to know why? Because that disease was made by reptilian humanoids on a spaceship. Sickle cell disease. That's why it's targeted for us. It's for population control. Sickle cell disease is the same weapon that interracial marriage is. For all you biracial brothers and sisters, please don't get a white woman pregnant. If you have sex with her, please don't get her pregnant, because you are erasing your genetics. That's literally like taking an eraser and you're erasing the black out of you. We need to keep the dominant DEA in us. White people don't have DEA. Black people don't have DNA. White people have DNA. Black people have DEA. Two different strands of genetics. Two different people. White people have green veins. Black people have bluish greenish veins. Two different veins. Two different species. Okay? Two different veins. Two different species. Okay? Now let me tell you something, nigga. Let me tell you something. They really got our people out here being clowns and being asleep. But literally, our Anunnaki brothers and sisters are so incredibly powerful. We have spaceships the size of small planets like Pluto, all the way to the size of Mars. We have spaceships the size of cities. We have advanced technology. We have prehistoric trees. We have spaceships that go through portals that are powered by high sexual energy, also known as Kundalini energy, which Rashad Jamal talked about in his lectures. So, and we even got some rappers out here that are speaking up against these people that are spreading the chemicals in our sky and impressing our people. You got awoke rappers, because I saw them. These reptilians, these pussycats is scared, nigga. These pussycats is scared. I saw a reptilian plane flying up over there because my phone died twice while I was recording this video. They didn't want me to get this message out. And that plane was literally going in a straight line. But as soon as it came up over the tree and it saw me, it started to swerve. It started to fall out of the sky. And before that, I saw 3 attack choppers. They looked like government attack choppers. I wish I got that shit on film, nigga. Them pussycats is scared because these white people, these reptilians, they can't stand our high frequency. It's literally making the reptilian aliens from the Alpha Draconis star system who are here on Earth trying to colonize us. It is making their ears bleed. They are bleeding out their ears and their nose. Their genitalia is exploding so they can't reproduce. That's how high our frequency is. Our anger and our rage concentrate into one vibration of joy, rejuvenation, and ecstasy, coming all the way up through the Muladhara root chakra, through the sacral chakra, all the way up to the third eye, or the first eye, which is the first eye, which is inside your brain, which is the pineal gland. Okay? Because with a decalcified pineal gland, you can't see the battles that are happening in the cosmos. You can't see the shifts that are taking place, nigga. You can't see them with a decalcified pineal gland. You got to decalcify that pineal gland, nigga, if you want to see more shit. But there's rappers that are speaking up against this oppression, and they're getting silenced. Like Kendrick Lamar and Snoop Dogg and Kanye. I'm really worried about Kanye, you guys. Because let me tell you something. White and Jewish people, which are the same race, like I said, white, Arab, Jewish, they're all the same. White people, not only have they fed us this Jesus shit, replaced us working on a cotton field for free, being hung from a fucking monkey, from a tree like this. They replaced that with 9 to 5. And let me tell you another thing they did. They try to imitate us, because some of us can't help the way we live, because a lot of our neighborhoods are full of crime, okay? Okay, a lot of our neighborhoods are full of crime. Whose fault do you think that is? The colonizers' fault. Because if these white people never were made in a lab biologically by these reptilians and these Pleiadians, our people wouldn't be killing each other. My people wouldn't be killing each other in the hood, yo. There wouldn't be a hood. There wouldn't be a ghetto, because everywhere in the city would be beautiful. They put us in these poor neighborhoods. They place us in these poor slums, and they got us shooting each other with over dollar bills with reptilian faces on it. Let me tell you something, nigga. There's only a few good rappers out here that are trying to, like, if you're gonna move to these white people are copying us. They want to copy our slang and talk like this. They want to act and dress ghetto. Like, it's not cool to be ghetto, yo. It's not cool to, I mean, if you are from the ghetto, it's cool. But if you're acting tough and you're not from the ghetto, well, if you're acting tough whether you're ghetto or not, or if you're just naturally a street nigga by heart. But if you're not naturally a street nigga by heart and you have a good heart, because I know some street niggas that'll beat your ass and they still got a good heart. And they still on that spiritual shit. But they want to dress like us by wearing saggy clothes and saggy pants. They want to say the word nigga in the rap songs. I hate that. They want to call their own species their nigga. That's a word we keep. It's no different when you were calling us in the cotton field to keep us under. You're still keeping us under because our people are getting killed right now, are killing each other over dollar bills. That's because you're imitating us, trying to act like a gangster. It's not cool to act ghetto just because your skin color is black or you live in a certain part of the city. I mean, if you're around those type of people, then yeah, I can understand. But this is just wrong because they got all these, there's only a few rappers that spoke up about this. Because if you want to move if you're a city boy and you want to move to the ghetto, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a city boy and you want to move to the ghetto just to act hard and cause problems with other niggas, then you ain't right in the head, nigga. You ain't right in the head because let me tell you why, nigga. Because if you're moving to the ghetto to uplift the other ghetto people, trying to tell them, oh, all this rap music with killing each other, oh, all this ghetto gospel, we don't need that. I'm gonna uplift you brothers and sisters myself by giving you one of these messages, one of these speeches, by inspiring you to do better. There's no wrong problem with moving to the ghetto if you're trying to uplift your people and get them out of that hood-like mentality so we can live in a paradise again, nigga. Because they're not going to be oppressing our people for much longer with this solar flare and these planetary conjunctions. Soon, all those police, they have guns, we have guns, okay? We're going to use their same guns and bulletproof vests to take every single one of them out. We're going to destroy every police department and station in the country. All of us. Every single one of us that goes along. And that's all 50 million of us. Because there's only a few that are cooning right now, that are sucking the white man's dick, that are saying, oh, what he did needs to be forgiven. No, it can't be forgiven. And if you don't want to kill them off anyway, you don't want to kill these Caucasian folks off anyway, the sun, our galactic sun's going to start killing them off in the next few years. Because last year in 2022 was the biggest year that people died, that Caucasian people were getting sunburned and died from heat strokes. In 2023, this is going to be the year of chaos and confusion. 2024, the year of chaos and destruction. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. There's only a few rappers that are trying to uplift us out the ghetto. And those rappers are Snoop Dogg, NLE Choppa, and Kanye West. The rest just want to talk about murdering each other and killing each other. You got Herbo G and Lil Durk. These niggas, let me tell you something. So these niggas can rap about killing other niggas.